Let's get into this discussion now. Police have confirmed a second arrest related to a number of extortion-related cases in the Eastern Cape. However, that has since been withdrawn from court on a technicality. But the authorities believe they have a strong case against the suspect, who is charged with taxi-related murders, attempted murder and the illegal possession of firearms. It comes a day after the arrest of former South African Airways board member Yakhe Kwinana for related charges, and these are extortion, malicious damage to property and pointing a firearm. Let's get the latest now on this, and we speak to the police's communications head, Maj-Gen Nonkululeko Phokane. Major General, good evening to you and thank you for your time. Let's start with the withdrawal of the case against the latest accused. Is this the individual who is understood to be a taxi owner?
Thank you very much for having me on the show tonight, Koli. You are touching on a very important subject. This morning, police executed a high-level police operation that led to this specific arrest in East London. And the suspect that was arrested is linked, allegedly, to crimes within the taxi industry that are related to your attempted murder, and extortions, amongst others. The case was withdrawn in court today on technicalities, not on the merits of the case. Police are still very confident that they are following strong leads. Remember, these are intelligence-led operations, and there is a special task team that was established last year by the Minister of Police that is looking into taxi violence-related matters and extortion matters, because extortions, we all agree that it was at a level where it needed certain intervention. So this task team has been working hard in making sure that they are able to apprehend and crack some of these cases that have been ongoing in different provinces, in particular in the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, amongst other provinces that we have had a lot of such cases that talks to extortions and related incidences. Okay,
before we talk about Miss Kwinana, who also has been arrested here, this is the former SAA board member. Let's deal first with this technicality that you have suffered in court. What was this technicality, and does this mean that this taxi owner is now out, not even on bail? He's simply released even from police custody.
So I think it is important for me to outline that first and foremost, the arrest that we are referring to that happened yesterday, it was intelligence-led, and we were able to apprehend the suspect. She since appeared in court. She was remanded in custody because the case must be transferred to East London. So she'll be reappearing in court in East London now on Monday. Right. In this particular one of the arrest of today, the suspect requested to appear in court with the lawyer. Now, I don't want to get into the details of the investigation because it's sensitive at this stage. However, the technicalities would obviously mean that there were certain, just few gaps that needed to be closed for this matter to stand in court. Yeah. There will be developments in this area, Tony, but I may not necessarily say what type of developments. All that I can say is that the police are very much confident that this is a very strong case that they are following. And besides, these cases are led by a specialized team that is including our investigators, our specialized unit from operational environment, but mostly is the team that has got head office personnel, because there were quite a number of dynamics that were happening in this particular province. And we may all obviously observe the nature of the taxi industry itself and a lot of dynamics that are involved in that space. It is not an easy space to penetrate, but police are very much confident that this time around there is a case that must stand in court, and once those technicalities are addressed, then the developments will be communicated accordingly.
But it's safe to say at this stage that the taxi owner is without charge as we speak tonight.
It's correct, Oli. The case was withdrawn, And the prosecutors and investigators are working tirelessly in making sure that those loose ends are tightened up so that by the time the matter gets in court, then everybody will be on the same page in making sure that it's processed accordingly. All that I can emphasize is that this particular investigation is led by certain witnesses, also intelligence-led, and this particular task team has made, some of the significant successes and arrests in as far as this space of extortion is concerned and other taxi-related incidences that have been reported to the police to date.
Okay, let's talk about Yakhe Kwinana. This is the former SAA board member, and she is the person whose case is now going to be transferred to East London in the Eastern Cape. She was arrested in Gauteng, Midrand to be exact. Now, the charges against her are extortion, malicious damage to property, and pointing a firearm. Is she assumed to be working in tandem with taxi bosses? Is this the core of the case?
Only that arrest was executed yesterday in Midrand, as you are correctly saying. And I must emphasize it was intelligence-led. Most of the questions that one has been responding to was, why was the arrest effected in Gauteng? It's precisely for that this particular individual was being sought after and followed by police. Hence, when the arrest was made, it was in Gauteng. I did explain that she then briefly appeared in court. She's remanded in custody. The case is transferred to East London. She will appear in court. But core to this is the charges that she's facing. One of them relates to extortions because there is a certain village in the Eastern Cape, and these are allegations that will still need to be proven to court. So we are very much careful in making sure that we continuously say allegations because it is ongoing investigation. There is a particular village in the Eastern Cape where committee members literally approach members of the SAPS because of ongoing incidences that they were going through a lot of experiences being tormented around cases that the police are investigating, which talks to the suspect that was arrested in court. You are now referring to taxi violence related. There are links to that, but I may not necessarily dwell in much on that because they are subject of a very sensitive investigation because you would know that the industry itself is very much volatile. And whenever there are investigations to that effect, you will find that police will obviously be making sure that this case is as strong as possible to stand in court.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Major General Nonkululeko Phokane. She is the head of communications in the South African Police Service.